Wallace.
And I have Don Holly here with me.
3 phases, dressage, cross-country, show jump. And you're out on course and something's going wrong or going right. You know how to react to what they're doing.
It was built originally to be a schooling facility, and so everything's set up very conveniently.
Welcome to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. And the first thing we want to do is wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving. We're really excited that everybody's here. Hopefully you've all enjoyed your turkey and your football. And we appreciate you taking some time to join us on what is going to be an awesome show, Rick.
It is going to be an awesome show, John. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I know that this Thanksgiving for me is going to be huge. We have 11 or 12 people coming for Thanksgiving. So we have 2 turkeys going. We've got all kinds of families here. It's going to be really fun. One of the biggest ones I've had in a long time.
Yeah, Thanksgiving's always a big one at our place as well.
Right.
I try not to count because that stresses me out, but I've got somewhere between 15 and 20.
You're bigger than ours.
Well, yeah.
Because you got a lot more souls around.
Yeah, we've got, obviously the girls who are on the farm that live with us or live on the property with us. We've got good friends in the area, some owners and clients and everybody. We all try to get together and just have a great time. So
that's awesome, though.
We've got a turkey, and then I changed it up this year. We did a turkey, and then we got a standing rib roast. So I thought I'd, give people some options this time. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll see. I could ruin it all, so.
Right. Now, something just happened to you last week, you and Jen, that's kind of celebratory, and that was 21 years, but...
Yeah, I made a sigh there because I thought you were talking about the trip. Yes, 21 years,
yeah, but
pretty
then you
awesome.
got the sigh because you were all excited because I know you were at Tryon and you actually sent me a text going, I'm going for one of these tests.
Right.
And I said, what?
Yeah.
And I didn't understand why, but then you explained why, because you were going where?
Yeah, so we planned for our 20th anniversary to go to a sandals resort. And at that point, we were supposed to go to, I think, the Bahamas.
Right.
And then because of life last year and the year before, as crazy as things were, that trip got canceled.
Right.
And we moved it forward to this year at 21 years. So this year, in order to go to Jamaica, you had to get a test for something, right? So we got all organized that on Saturday we're going to get this test. But of course, Saturday is like the most stressful day at Tryon,
right?
Because I'm running my Pioneer Archibald in his first advanced. I've got a really nice horse, just my style, in the 2 long.
Right.
And I'm trying to also organize on Saturday having a 72-hour test to make sure that we're healthy to travel to Jamaica.
You gotta go.
So we decide we're going to go to the hospital that's affiliated with the horse show to get this test. We get there in the afternoon after we get it all done and everything seems fine. The test is done. There's a little bit of discussion with the hospital about how we're going to receive the results, which got a little bit maybe slightly heated. Some would say that I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I'm not convinced that that isn't part of the reason things went wrong. And so on Monday evening, our flight is leaving out of Orlando at 10:30 on Tuesday. On Monday evening, we call them and say, hey, we really need these test results to make this trip. And they say, oh, we're really sorry. They didn't go out until this morning. You won't have them till Wednesday. So, trip to Jamaica is gone. Did not happen. Talk about a first world problem. Not a big deal, but it was disappointing for us, obviously, because,
I was shocked because when you told me, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, 20 plus years is a pretty big deal, and it would have been the first trip that Jen and I had gone on, just the 2 of us,
yourself,
since our honeymoon. And I think perhaps this is the universe telling us we're not supposed to go on trips alone, because the last time we went on a trip alone, when we came back from our honeymoon, Jen actually got denied admittance, not deported, denied admittance into the United States because we were young and dumb and didn't have our paperwork in order. She was trying to get her
entering.
Right, because Jen's Canadian and she was trying to get her green card at the time.
And if you leave, you can't come back.
If you leave, which we didn't know. They shouldn't have even let us leave. So then at that point, they're trying to kick her out of the country. You're supposed to go back to Italy we had to convince them to let her go to Canada. It was a nightmare. So fast forward 21 years later, second time we're going to try this.
But you made something great out of it.
Yeah, we went. We spent a few days in Orlando. We had a great time. We went to Charlie's Steakhouse in Orlando, where we went the night after we got engaged, because I'm super romantic, and took my then girlfriend in my 1984 Pontiac Fiero to the Howard Johnson's hotel and proposed to her outside of the pool, as there's a guy sitting across the pool smoking a cigarette at 11 o'clock at night. And do you know what she said to me when I asked her to marry her?
What?
Marry me? She said no. Yeah, can you believe that? And I actually looked at her, I was like,
So it wasn't like Joel did with the glacier?
no. I mean, I thought it was pretty romantic on my budget. It was a nice Fiero. It was my grandpa's Fiero. Howard Johnson in Orlando, and she said no. And I said, okay, can you just say yes? So that guy doesn't know that you said no, and then we can go to the room and we can discuss. So she said yes, and we got back to the room. She said, okay, well, we need to discuss this. And I said, nope. You said yes, and the rest is history. That was done.
Oh, good for
I
you.
got her.
I love that story.
Yeah.
Well,
So
good for you.
there you go.
That was really good. So we're having some great guests on. I know Callan Solem and Chester Weber. Both have been intricate in my life. One just recently, and the other one many, many years ago. You know Chester for years.
Yeah, I've known Chester for a really long time. I mean, he's obviously an incredible driver.
Right. He also when Darren was hurt. Am I getting this right? When Darren was hurt at Red Hills, didn't he offer a plane? Was that Chester or was that somebody else?
Oh, I don't know. But I know when Darren got hurt, Chester was very involved in looking after things and helping out. And
so yeah,
was a very good friend there. And through that, we knew each other before that, but through that whole thing, we became pretty good friends.
Right.
He's also my neighbor.
Yep.
And known Chester for years. Great guy and incredibly talented. Really good driver.
Obviously like I said, Chester Weber is a known name for many, many years. There's a Briggs got a signed autograph picture of him driving, and it's up in our house, and I've never met him before, but like I said, Terra Nova fell off, Chester got the horse, and I met him through that. And again, he was like coming up to me going, here's my orthopedic, this is what you need to do, you gave me a call. All the way through my hospital stay, he was texting me, and I think he did say that on drugs I'm really funny. I don't really recall.
Which is, that makes sense. We're gonna try to keep you on something. I mean, I know you think you're funny all the time,
but not so.
Yeah, not as funny as you think.
Well, it's a really good show, and I know Thanksgiving coming up. We did have Terra Nova. You do have an advanced horse now.
I do, yeah. No, he was a good boy. I was very proud of Archie. He went out there and jumped around well and put in a good, solid weekend. It's always fun finishing up the season that way. I will say it was interesting, right? Like the choice of going with him to Terra Nova and which division to put him in.
Right.
And that maybe is something good to talk about here is there was this rider categorization and things you need to do with these horses to get them to move up the levels and what you need to do. And it was really back and forth with me with Archie as to do I put him in the 3 long or do I put him in the 4 short? And so I had this whole thing, and Sheila Costello, who's a good friend of mine who used to work for the Federation.
Which she should still.
She should still, you're absolutely right. But Sheila, thank you, went through my whole record because I had a feeling that I hadn't had more than one advanced horse for a while, and even then it was like I'd have an advanced horse for 6 months, and then
something would
happen, and then I thought, it's been a little while since I've been consistently at that level, and I might downgrade one level. So Sheila looked at it for me and was like, you know what, actually as of January 1st, you do move down a level. You're gonna need 2 3 longs or 1 more 4-star to stay at a category B. So I was like, okay, do I go do the 4-star, which has to be clear, or do I go do the 3-star so that the horse has a little bit of an easier go and then stays qualified to do what I want next year? So I go through this whole process. And long story short, I'm like agonizing over it for days as to which division to put the horse in. And then I find out that I have an email that I've had for months that I read and forgot because it's me, that says they're changing all of that and it doesn't really matter, I can do the 4-star. So I put him in the 4-star because he was ready to go. And
What exactly? Because obviously, you're not the only one that has this conversation all the time, just because of
Right.
all the stuff that's going on. Elisa and I have it all the time.
so the FEI just changed the rider categorization stuff that if basically the point was if you're uncategorized, you only have to now have done 1 3-star long and then 2 4-star shorts to
Instead
go
of 3.
instead of, well, it used to be you had to have 2 3-star longs if you were
Oh,
a
gotcha.
C or uncategorized.
Okay.
But they changed that because in other parts of the world there was concerns about not having enough access to
Sure,
competitions.
to get it done.
Right. So the nice part for Archie was he didn't have to go run the extra long course. He got to go jump around the
And you
4-star.
got some experience, and
Yeah.
while you might have had a little,
He had a little
there,
blip early in the
that's
course,
fine.
but
it
he
was
was
still
great.
good.
Yeah, he was great. He was great. I'm really excited about him, and it's so fun when you finish the season with a new advanced horse and things went the way you wanted.
Right.
So I was really happy with him.
And guess where we're going?
Yeah, you're making a big trip.
We leave on the 27th of November. This just kind of popped up. You know, we had the devastation of riot gear and Elisa having a very hard time about it. But all that coming through, there's still got to be some things that we do. So we're going to England November 27th through December 3rd. She's got 9 to 10 horses lined up to try, and we're going to go over there, and me, Briggs, and Elisa. And
Well, that's
Yeah,
exciting,
see
and
what
I
we
know
do.
it obviously doesn't replace
no, you
Rye.
can't replace anything.
Doesn't
Right.
replace Rye, but it's so exciting for Elisa to be able to go
It's gonna-
find another
We were
horse. and
looking
good
at
for her.
everything from minimal to big time, and so we just got to figure out what's the right choice and how we can put the syndicate together and get it all done.
Well, I
for her.
can't wait to hear when you get back what you guys found, and that will be able to be found out in our next show.
That'd be
So
great.
I'm excited for that. But what we're going to do is take a quick break, and then we're going to be back with our Stress Less segment with Chester Weber. Again, happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and we're going to be right back with Chester in a moment. Want to advertise on the John and Rick Show? Contact John at 352-875-8622.
Or call Rick at 850-879-2649.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
You know who really loves horses? Chiros. That's short for chiropractor. My friends Dr. Philip and Dr. Angela from Synchrony Chiropractic taught me that. And right now you can visit KairosLoveHorses.com. That's KairosLoveHorses.com and mention the John and Rick Show when you book for a special treat from these special docs. I now know horses need a chiropractor too, and the team over at KairosLoveHorses.com, that's KairosLoveHorses.com, have got their back. Again, check out KairosLoveHorses.com, that's KairosLoveHorses.com.
Sweet Dixie South is an equestrian facility built for the lifestyle of eventers of all levels. Whether you are coming to Ocala for the entire season, a week, a month, or a year, this beautiful 160-acre farm is the place to settle in and enjoy your time with horses. They offer a full cross-country course with 2 water features, banks, ditches, an amazing footing to gallop, a spectacular all-weather footing ring, large grass jumping fields, and dressage rings. Located in the rolling hills of North Marion County in Reddick, Florida, Sweet Dixie South has 100 stalls and numerous paddocks, apartments, a line of camper hookups, washer and dryer amenities, as well as common areas to complete your experience during your stay. Under the ownership of Mike Campbell and the management of Can-Do Joe Adams of Top Rail Tack, Sweet Dixie South has transformed into a premier eventing training facility in Florida. Go to www.sweetdixiesouth.com for more information. Hey, Rick here. Do you have a horse suffering from poor performance, anxiety and fear, low appetite, agitation, or nervousness? Stress Less can help. Stress Less, the hot horse remedy, is veterinarian-developed, show-safe, all-natural formula that promotes calmness, focus, and mood balance in horses experiencing stress related to training, showing, racing, stall rest, and travel.
This equine supplement encourages calmness, focus, and mood balance without affecting the motor skills or energy levels of your horse. It promotes a more willing and balanced temperament with no drowsiness or impaired function, resulting in increased focus, a calm mind, and a happier horse and rider. Try Stress Less today and see for yourself why we think Stress Less is the best hot horse remedy you will find. Check us out at centerlinedistribution.net and on Facebook and Instagram as Stressless Horse Supplement.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros, and we are here in our Stress Less segment, and really excited to be joined by Chester Weber, who is the most decorated driver in the United States. His numerous accolades have yielded prestigious recognition throughout the world. He is originally from here in Ocala, Florida, and was raised on his family's farm, started driving competitively super young under Jimmy Fairclough. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
I did, awesome. When he was 18 years old, Chester was the youngest driver to be named to the United States equestrian team for the World Pairs Driving Championships in, where?
Gladstone, New Jersey.
Okay, that's not what it says here. It says the Netherlands.
Oh, well.
All right, perfect. He earned 12 consecutive wins after advancing to the four-in-hand division in '99. And then in 2008, Chester made history, becoming the first American to win the individual silver medal in the four-in-hand FEI World Driving Championships. He won the Royal Windsor 2 consecutive years, receiving personal congratulations, and that's a pretty cool photo, by the way.
This is going to be 10 minutes in the
from
segment
Queen
already.
Elizabeth.
Exactly.
He's a it's not my fault, he's done a lot. He's a 17-time
18
U.S.
now.
Equestrian Federation
18.
four-in-hand
18
national
now.
champion, 18 now, and is regularly in the top 3 of the FEI rankings, 4 silver medals at the World Equestrian Games, and the historic gold medal at the 2018 WEG in Tryon. Whew! That's a lot, man.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty impressed that you're here. Thanks for that.
Happy to be here for you
Yeah,
guys.
no, it's great.
Yeah, it's really super. You know, I know Chester. I've never met Chester until the infamous Terra Nova fall where I crushed my hip.
Right?
So just to bring everybody into view, fell off my horse, hit my hip, it hurt. My horse is
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah,
My
you
horse
kinda,
was,
like,
I
crawled
look over
away.
and my horse is being like this really nice guy with shorts on, and you had to scruff your beard at
Yeah,
the time.
probably.
And
Hadn't
I was like,
shaved.
well, my horse is being taken care of. And then I was like, they're checking me out. And then a little bit later, long story short, Briggs came over and said, thanks for walking my horse. And he is a big fan of yours and
Okay.
didn't recognize you, right? And
He actually treated me like I didn't know how to walk a horse.
I know, he did. And there we go, Joel. So Chester gives the horse over to Briggs.
To be fair, Chester, you drive horses, so you may not know how to walk a horse.
Yeah, but we have to go to the vet check with like 5.
Okay.
That's more sporting than you guys do.
That's true.
So I go and do some commentating. I go and eat with a crushed hip, and I see Chester coming toward me in the VIP tent. And I still was like, wow, great, thanks for helping me. He goes, hey, I'm Chester Weber. And I went, what? So
Yeah.
I had no idea, but I appreciate your help.
Yeah, it was
And
easy.
Now I
It was
was like,
natural. It was the right thing to do.
Right, you got to be on the John and Rick show.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Here I am.
so Chester, I've known Chester for a long time.
We've heard.
And so, why were you down at Terra Nova? What were you doing there? Just hanging out?
So some of our Live Oak International team were down there helping with the event, and people said, "Hey, there's this fantastic new facility down there. Why don't you come down and have a look?" And so that's what I did. I just got in the car. I think it was Saturday morning early. Drove down there for the day. Checked it out, and then I thought, I'll go look at all the cross country, and I thought, this could be a nice driving venue. I want to kind of see the whole thing, and I was on the back side of the cross country just standing there watching, and sure enough, he falls off, and I'm like, oh, that's not good. And then, the horse was easily, caught, and yeah,
It's
it was
history.
easy. Yeah.
And Chester was super nice. I mean, he pulled out, he's like, here's my orthopedic, this is the people you call, if you need something, here's my number. And he kept track of me all the way through surgery and everything, so I
Yeah.
appreciate it. It was really nice of
It
him.
was great. You were really fun when you were drugged. He must have been on like Demerol or morphine or something like that. He was funny.
Yeah, which is unusual.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, Chester, we were talking, even now that we're in here and you're interviewing with us, and we appreciate it. But You have just signed back on for, I mean, he does a lot of work with the USEF. Now you're signed back onto the board.
Yeah, so 4 more years. I start in January in Naples, Florida again.
There you go.
I go to my first board meeting in a while. I think 4 years ago I was the secretary and treasurer of the board, and then took some time off now. Took 4 years or so off, and now I'm back going, I guess I'm representing the athletes in the athlete seat for 4 years.
That's pretty cool.
Wow, that's impressive. Obviously, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, there's some work to do.
No, that's pretty cool of you to do that. It's, as you know, getting the athletes to participate is always a challenge. So it's great when we get somebody like you who's going to do it, so I appreciate that.
So transitioning, so how did you decide you wanted to drive horses?
6'2", 210 pounds,
Right.
a little bit too big to be a jockey. My family had racing, has a racing farm, and I always wanted to be a jockey, but I think at like 11 years old, 120 pounds passed me, and I thought, that's going to be hard to maintain this for the rest of my life. So I maybe overshot. My dad had some Clydesdale horses, and he and I drove Clydesdale horses a little bit, and I sort of went up through driving 6 and 8 Clydesdale horses, and that seemed like a lot of fun and had a lot of success as sort of, a 16, 17-year-old doing that. And then I went off to boarding school in New Jersey, and somebody said, oh, you drive horses. It's like, oh, you ride horses. Like, oh, you have to meet my neighbor. They ride horses too. So
Right.
I met somebody who drove horses, and it was Jimmy Fairclough, and he said, oh, I don't know much about Clydesdales, but I know a lot about combined driving. And I thought, this is really cool. As a 13, 14-year-old, I was like, wow, galloping as fast as you could through the woods. What's not to like?
Right?
Yeah, so
Very cool.
it sort of stuck, and 30-something years later, I'm still
doing
galloping
it.
through the woods.
So typically you spend the summers over in Europe,
Yeah.
but with everything that's been going on in this crazy world, have you been over there? What have you been doing?
So I haven't been in Europe since January. I was in Leipzig, Germany in January of 2020. I haven't been back. The good news is I've been home sort of, we have so this is 4 years after the WEG. We have a big championships in Pratoni outside of Rome this coming September. And I've just been home, like honing my skills and getting a really good group of horses together. And I'm super excited. They've gone to some 2-star shows here in the States, and they've been really, really on form. And I'm super excited to, first stop probably Windsor in England in May. But with this world the way it is today, right now the plan is Windsor in May, but who knows?
Right, and so what do you do here? Because you have your big horse show, obviously.
Sure, yeah. So we're again, last year we didn't have one. We run the Live Oak International, which is a huge spectator event in March every year in Ocala. This will be the 31st year. We're super fired up to to have an audience and have that going on again. And after that, we'll start sort of packing up to try to get ready for May.
Right.
Yeah, and you were just mentioning getting your horses prepared. So what horse do you look at to be a driving horse for what you're doing?
So right now my program is mainly around buying sort of 3.5, 4-year-olds. I have something of a farm team that's based in Holland. I sort of buy young ones if they grow too big or they don't turn out the way I want them, or for whatever reason, I'd sell them, and then sort of at the end of their 5-year-old year or 6-year-old year, I usually bring them back here. And then I feel like it's a little bit like coming out of the minor leagues, and then they get thrown into my group of 8, 9 horses that I train every day. But then they're partners, so it's different than most other sports. They're partners that they're with in the team. These are horses that have done championships and really are training on a super high level. And quite a few of them, if the fundamentals are done well, they swim and they blossom. Wow. I have for example, I have a 6-year-old this year that's coming 7-year-old. that I think will make my team for next season. He's fantastic, and he started as kind of, when he came over here, he was a little bit green, a little bit of a newbie, and just working around partners that are at that high a level. He's just
brought him up.
Yeah, and he's a bit of a freak of nature, so it was easy for him.
What we probably need to do, Rick, is take a little break. Chester, can you stick around?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take a little break. We're going to check in with our sponsors, and then we'll be right back.
Okay.
Stress Less, thanks for sponsoring this segment. And everybody out there, Stress Less is a great supplement to feed your horses to keep them calm and cool. Try it out.
Hey, Rick here. Do you have a horse suffering from poor performance, anxiety and fear, low appetite, agitation, or nervousness? Stress Less can help. Stress Less, the hot horse remedy, is veterinarian-developed, show-safe, all-natural formula that promotes calmness, focus, and mood balance in horses experiencing stress related to training, showing, racing, stall rest, and travel. This equine supplement encourages calmness, focus, and mood balance without affecting the motor skills or energy levels of your horse. It promotes a more willing and balanced temperament with no drowsiness or impaired function, resulting in increased focus, a calm mind, and a happier horse and rider. Try Stress Less today and see for yourself why we think Stress Less is the best hot horse remedy you will find. Check us out at centerlinedistribution.net and on Facebook and Instagram as Stress Less Horse Supplement.
Hi, I'm John Halling, and this is my wife Jen, and we run Halling Eventing out of Willow Run Farm here in Ocala, Florida. We love our Jump for Joy jumps.
We are standing in front of one of my favorites, which is our Jump for Joy angled brush, which we have up on our bank complex so we can prepare the horses for the 3 days that are coming up. And it is very mobile, and we can put it anywhere we need to give the horses the questions that they need to see before we go and compete.
So we love them for cross country. We also have them in our show jump ring. They're great. You never have to paint them. Maintenance is super easy. And like Jen was saying, the shoulder brush here and any of the portable cross-country jumps that Jump for Joy makes are great. They're easy to move around, change the courses. We love them.
You can put them in the water jump. You can put them anywhere you want.
So if you're looking for some new show jumps, some new cross-country jumps, check out Jump for Joy.
Welcome to Terra Nova Equestrian Center, located in Mayaca City, Florida, just a short drive from some of the nation's top beaches.
As a competitor, one of the most important things we look for when planning our competition calendar is the quality of course design and footing for our beloved equine athletes.
We are so excited to host our inaugural event, the event at Terra Nova, this fall. This event was thoughtfully created by some of the most innovative and experienced minds in our sport.
The courses are run over gorgeous terrain, and we are proud to offer custom drainage and irrigation throughout all levels of competition. Terra Nova is certainly the gold standard, with 6 Wordley Martin GGT arenas and a Captain Mark Phillips designed and Eric Bull built cross-country course, complete with frangible technology.
We hope to create a special experience for all levels of riders.
Whether you're experiencing your first horse show or are a seasoned Olympic athlete, Terra Nova is excited to welcome you.
Summit Joint Performance, the injectable joint supplement used by numerous international and Olympic riders, invites you to experience the winning Summit difference. Made of all natural ingredients, Summit increases mobility and comfort. Win your class with Summit Joint Performance. Grant Showalter has over 15 years of equine bodywork and saddle fitting experience. His technique uses manual pressure and stretching to release points of restriction, leading to freer movement, reduced soreness, and restored range of motion. He has a thorough understanding of the importance of a properly fitted saddle. You can quickly identify and correct any balance issues and can adjust your saddle on site. I personally have Grant work on all of my event horses to keep them feeling their best before, during, and after their competitions. Grant is based in Florida year-round, but regularly travels to Georgia, Tennessee, and the surrounding areas. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call 484-639-4454.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros, and we are still joined by Chester Weber, and it's great to have you here at our studios. And we were just talking about preparations of his horses and getting them ready to be where they need to be when you go to competitions. I heard something that you said that kind of pricked my interest. If they grow too big, what is your category of your horse? Do you want it to be 15.3 to 16.3, or is there something too big, too small?
Yeah, so great question. My team of horses, they're sort of around from probably 16 hands to 16.1.5.
Okay.
But after that, it's still a reasonable, suitable size horse. It's hard to put one that's 16 hands together with one that's 16.2.
It just doesn't look right.
It just doesn't look right. It doesn't work. There are lots of weird things with the harness and adjustment and how long their necks are, and it just adds complexity. I'm not going to say it never could happen, because of course you could have one with a big wither and one with a small wither, but they have to match that way. The good thing is if I buy a brown horse, they stay brown.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So that could be. So when you're going to search them out in Holland, or where you're purchasing them from over there, do you look at the genealogy? Do you try to look at what the sizes are? Or you just, if you see something as a 3-year-old that's not quite to that height, do you go, I'm gonna take my chances. This one's not going to go to 16.2.
A lot of times, you can use the old sort of farmer adage of
with the string test.
You can use that.
Yeah.
You can have a pretty good idea as well. I also pay a little attention to bloodlines. I'm certainly not an expert, but I have some friends that are pretty good, and you can have a pretty good idea of this horse is going to get big. Usually, if they're 5 and they're 16 hands, well, maybe they'll end up at 16.1, but they're not going to be at 16.3.
There you go. So, based on the size, then, do you look for movement? Because what do you look? I know what we look for when we're going to. I know we have Callan Solem in the audience that's going to come in and tell us what she looks for a Grand Prix show jumper.
Sure.
What is, other than the size characteristic, the length of the neck, all that, what are you looking for that you know is going to make a good driving team horse?
So the dressage is the first discipline. So without a good trot and a good walk and a nice shoulder, because I don't like trying to make them go around all the time. It's nice if you just hold the reins and they kind of do the right thing. I look for that sort of athletic ability, a big overstepping walk. I like them to kind of have a lot of movement in their back, and I want them to have a big showy trot. Because I feel like, okay, you can build the trot a little bit, but you can't make one that trots like a Shetland pony, trot like a really good, big, huge moving horse. And I also find horses that you purchase that have the natural athletic ability. The one that, walks with their whole body, they're usually
orangutans.
They're usually pretty athletic.
Right.
And of course, then, it gets into the character. How's the character? Because with a driving horse, you just as soon not sit behind them if they have a bad character.
Right.
I would anyway. And it kind of goes on from there. And as you get closer to your goals, you start to hone them down. But they also need enough character to have enough grit to get around the track in Aachen when it's happens to be an 80-degree day there.
It sounds like it's. Not even sounds like. I know it is. We're all looking for very similar attributes in the horses, right?
Yeah.
We want them to be really well-bred, good-moving, athletic horses that on the first day in the dressage, the judges are going to wow, but are athletic enough to go run around on the cross-country course and get it done, basically, right? Good horse is a good horse.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the trick for you is they got to match, too.
Yeah, they have to be brown.
Which makes it tricky. Like for us, we can go be like, oh, that's a really great gray horse at 16.3, and that's a really awesome little bay horse at 16 hands. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So my uncle's in the audience,
Yeah.
and he would want me to ask, he says, Rick, why aren't y'all doing more layman's terms for us that are trying to understand what's going on? So what I do realize right now, we haven't really told people that how combined training is sort of like eventing.
Okay.
You have dressage, cross country, and stadium jump.
Sure.
So Tell us, is it the same way? You go in, you get your dressage score, and then you add penalties, or how does it work?
Yeah, so very similar to eventing. The dressage score, you win at a low 30 or high 20s is a little bit. That's a little. You don't really see that many high 20s in dressage, but sort of the lower the score, the better. And then the difference in the cross country is in eventing, you can have a 0, you can have a clear round, whereas we have 7 or 8 different obstacle zones, and you're timed in those, and every 4 seconds you're in there. So you're winning the cross country on a score of 110 or 100 or something like that. There's no 0 score. And then the last day, which is the cones driving, is very similar to stadium jumping. There are 26 pairs of cones roundabout, and they're, you get a penalty for knocking them down. There's a time allowed, so very, very similar to principles of show jumping.
Then at the end, how do they combine that to figure out who won?
The lowest score, the lowest amount of penalty points.
Okay.
So what I need to know, just transitioning a little bit, is the Live Oak competition is happening this coming March?
The first weekend in March, so I think it's like the weekend of the 6th of March is the Live Oak International, yeah.
And it is an awesome competition. Rick,
I can't
don't know
wait,
if
I'm
you've ever
going.
been. It is so much fun to go out there, and I mean, I'm lucky enough, it's literally across the street, so I always sneak over. But what I need to know is you always have an awesome party. And I remember years ago I went there and you guys had Burt Bacharach, which was incredible. And I remember because he yelled at me because I was talking too much and we were
Chester
too loud.
did?
No, Burt did. And it was like my grandfather yelled at me.
But not.
But not, because my grandpa can't sing like that. So are you going to have the awesome party? Is what I need to know.
I believe we will have an awesome party. My niece and my sister usually are the ones that the party is their brainchild.
Right.
I have enough going on. I try to focus on the sports sort of side of the event.
You got to get your priorities straight.
I should likely get my priorities straight, but they're so good at the party on Saturday night.
Right.
You just, you outsource that responsibility. And the greatest thing is, I'm old now, and my 25-year-old niece, Chloe Reed, is a great party animal. So,
So it's guaranteed to be
There
a
we
good
go.
time. So I can get an invite to this party.
I'll check with Chloe.
Okay, that's not what I need. I want to hear yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Everybody,
You heard it here
here.
on the John and Rick Show.
No, it's a great
No,
competition.
I
It is
can't
really
wait.
fun.
I do want to go this year. I know several people have mentioned it to me, and I should have known it was in March, but I was like,
Yeah, it's always right
I've got
around-
Chester's number. I'll just text him.
It's always right around Ocala and Rocking Horse and right in there.
Red Hills.
Red Hills, yep, sandwiched in there. And so will the jumper competition be going on as well?
Yeah, so we signed another 3-year Longines World Cup qualifier.
Wow.
Live TV on Sunday. It's
Awesome.
That's super.
top sport at Live Oak.
It's so cool.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
so
not going
cool.
to miss this one.
Maybe what we need to do is work something out where we can have like the John and Rick show from
Yeah,
Live Oak.
fantastic. Should do that.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
Look what we
I like it.
we
I got an
laid the
invite to a
groundwork.
party. I'm
And-
gonna have the show on.
And
what?
I don't know, whatever.
We'll come up with something else.
Sure.
Yeah. No, it'll be a great time. I'm looking forward to that for sure.
The next big competition for you?
I have some small stuff around here in December, just kind of trying to get the team together. But big one probably at Live Oak in the first week in March.
Cool. You're going to still teach me how to drive?
Anytime.
That's awesome. I'm going to take them up on it.
You're right.
I just started riding faster than I thought.
Yeah, I thought when you broke your hip that you were going to be a driver.
You might still.
No, you said, look, you can always drive. Come here, I'll teach you.
That's very cool. And so obviously it's Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving.
Right.
Happy turkey.
And, thank you again for coming in. We really appreciate it.
I do appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
Thanks for picking Rick up off the floor. That was
was
very
easy.
good of you. So
Yeah.
Here I
go
am.
enjoy your family and some turkey.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get you back in. But if not, we will see you in March at the Live Oak Invitational and be ready to do our show.
Perfect.
Be awesome. All
You
right.
heard it here.
So Chester, thank you. And we will be right back with Callan Solem.
Yep.
The holidays may seem far away, but they're really just around the corner. If you're looking for a heartwarming and custom gift to give this year, consider commissioning a piece by Tegan Henderson at Creature Feature Portraits. Choose between glasses or canvas to immortalize your beloved horses and pets. Creature Feature Portraits provides affordable and classy artwork for you and your home. Find Tegan on Instagram at creature_feature_portraits. And to inquire about commissions and pricing, text her at 774-278-1000. 1492.
For a horse owner on the road, your trailer is essential. No one enjoys being stuck on the road. At Horse Trailer Pros, we repair, renovate, and maintain all makes and models of horse trailers. We work directly with your insurance company or manufacturer for warranty repairs and insurance claims. Our state-of-the-art facility provides quick turnaround and friendly customer service. Considering a living quarter conversion? We do those too. Find comfort on the road with Horse Trailer Pros. Call or text 352-804-2131. HorseTrailerPros.com.
Hey, Rick here. Do you have a horse suffering from poor performance, anxiety and fear, low appetite, agitation, or nervousness? Stress Less can help. Stress Less, the hot horse remedy, is veterinarian-developed, show-safe, all-natural formula that promotes calmness, focus, and mood balance in horses experiencing stress related to training, showing, racing, stall rest, and travel. This equine supplement encourages calmness, focus, and mood balance without affecting the motor skills or energy levels of your horse. It promotes a more willing and balanced temperament with no drowsiness or impaired function, resulting in increased focus, a calm mind, and a happier horse and rider. Try Stress Less today and see for yourself why we think Stress Less is the best hot horse remedy you will find. Check us out at centerlinedistribution.net and on Facebook and Instagram as Stress Less Horse Supplement.
Summit Joint Performance, the injectable joint supplement used by numerous international and Olympic riders, invites you to experience the winning Summit difference. Made of all natural ingredients, Summit increases mobility and comfort. Win your class with Summit Joint Performance.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros, and we are now really fortunate to be joined by Callan Solem, so thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And Callan, what's actually really interesting was just saying to us in between the break here is that you actually did pretty well at Chester's show.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite shows. Yeah, I was leading rider there a few years ago. Maybe I was 2015 or 16, but it's a great show. Everybody should try to get there. It's really, they do such a beautiful job.
Yeah, it is a ton of fun. So the other thing I have here is that you represented the United States equestrian team on 11 separate occasions. You rode on 6 Nation Cups teams. Did a pretty good job on the Nations Cup teams, if I recall. Got us qualified for sort of some big stuff and made some travels. You were on the short list for the 2016 Olympics.
Yes.
Right? And what else did I miss here?
Leading U.S. rider.
There we go.
Yeah, I was that same year. I was 7th in the World Cup finals in Gothenburg in Sweden as the highest placed American, the highest placed woman. So that's what made me on the short list for Rio. But yeah,
well, good job.
Good.
This is like a powerhouse of a show tonight.
I know, and I feel really honored because Callan and
I started with Rick. Yeah,
go back,
way back
years and years and years. So Callan and her mother, Kay Hooper, at the time.
Yeah.
Rode with Brad Sprague and myself at the Atlanta Hunt Club.
That had been like 1990 or 91.
91, 92, 93,
like that.
94.
Yeah.
She actually did her first jumpers at HITS at Castro, I think it was there, on Ultimate Trial, my first advanced horse. And I remember specifically her going into the jumper ring on that horse. And I'm like, he's a little hot, you'll be fine. She's only been doing the hunters and the equitation. She's like,
I was like
okay.
12 or something. Yeah, it was great. He was amazing. Took good care.
Look where you are.
Yeah, but honestly, that was such a good start. You were such a horseman from the beginning, and I think that's the part that is really you find is the most important as you go along. Really caring. At some point in the trajectory of one's career, you have to decide if the horse is more important to you or the sport. And I think from a very young age, I was lucky to be around people for whom the horse was the most important part, and that really stuck with me.
And you're right, because I heard you. We had Elisa and Callan rode together as young girls, and then they were both on separate planes in sports, and Elisa was the alternate for 2016 Olympics. She was shortlisted for 2016 Olympics, and then they merged together. I came up with this. I was like, Callan is in Ocala. Yeah. Elisa is having some show jump stuff. Why not bring them together?
We had such
so
a fun
to your
time.
point about horsemanship, when I heard you talking and you and Elisa talking together, I was like, you two both have come to where I just sit back and it makes me in awe of how you really treat and feel about your horses, and I think that's really great.
Well, and honestly, I think that the success of a rider's career is directly proportionate to how well their horses are doing, emotionally, physically, all of that. And if we can pay attention to that, I think, it doesn't mean you turn a horse into something it's not. I mean, it doesn't mean that, you turn a children's hunter into an Olympic horse, but you certainly make the best of them. That's the best part about horses is you ride them better and they go better. You take care of them and they give back to you. And I think that is, once you have a partner like Elisa had with Simply Priceless, like I had with VDL Wizard, then comes the difficult part in international championship level competition, that when you know the answer to the question is always going to be yes, you have to be careful of the question. Those horses would die for us. And because of our relationship with them, and then there becomes a responsibility to make sure you're making good choices for them. It's, it's one thing if we want to leave it all in the field, but when you're asking a friend and a partner in sport to do the same thing, we just have to make sure that they are physically and mentally, emotionally capable of doing that.
Because they depend on us to make that decision.
Absolutely, because we're their leaders. Nature made them, designed them to follow the leader. They're herd animals. We become their leaders, and then they look to us for, you tell them to do something and to do it.
And John, I mean, you've been in that. We've all been in that position that Callan's talking about. That you have this great horse, or there's something going on, and you got to go. I could go that way with it, and it might be all right, or something could go really wrong. And and even knowing you for many, many years, you have always made the right decision. So I think there's
I'm not sure always, but you always try.
You always try to make the right decision.
And it goes both ways too. I mean, you have on the flip side of that, you have some horses where the vet goes, these X-rays are no good, and you go, this horse is fine though.
Right.
It's totally fine. So it can be either way too.
My very first upper level event horse, I remember the vetting was atrocious.
Right.
But to that vet's credit, they said to me, look, these X-rays are terrible. I don't think it's ever going to cause you a problem.
Right.
And so
you have to have a good
got to have a horseman.
Yeah, you have a good sport vet. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
You have to have a horseman.
But also part of it, tying into what Chester was saying about what he's looking for in a top driving horse. As far as breeding goes and genealogy and stuff, like as I say, Elvis's brother couldn't sing. It's all relative, but how much the will for sport, I think, is so important, and how much they like. It's like my back hurts some mornings, but I really want to do this. I love riding horses. I love taking care of them. So if my back's hurting a little bit, it doesn't stop me from getting up, getting dressed, getting there on time, doing the best work I can, whatever. Same for the horses. They all have a reason. If they're in sport long enough, they all have a reason to not want to do it. And loving what they do is, I think, is the X factor that I think it's difficult to always be able to tell when you're trying them, when you're starting with them. But I do think, it maybe we can't, as riders, as trainers, maybe we can't make a horse love it, but we can sure make him hate it. And so we try our hardest not to do that.
Right.
And then
what I picked up out of there that was most important was I didn't even know Elvis had a brother.
I think it's like
I do know that I was born on Elvis's birthday.
Well, there you go.
And I can't sing.
You can't sing either. Oh, man, Elvis got lucky.
I'm best in the car.
That's funny.
So you're from Georgia?
I am, yes, originally.
Right. Okay. And so that's where you met
Yes,
Rick.
And
got to do that.
Exactly.
And so then, have you basically been based out of the Southeast then since then, or?
No, actually, after I graduated from high school, I became a working student for Carol Thompson, who was alternate for the Olympics in '68 in Mexico City. And so I moved to New Jersey and rode with her, and eventually became. She had a riding accident that availed me to be her young professional, and so I stayed there for 15 years. So my first Nations Cup senior teams and stuff were on her horses. And she was such an amazing mentor. I mean, learned the most from anyone from her about the sport and everything. She really knew. And she also was the same as you, like she really cared about the horses, and we never did anything that was wrong for the horses. It was really important to her. And so I grew up doing that. And then when I was 30, I got a job with the people who own VDL Wizard, the McNeils in Pennsylvania. And so I moved there, and I was there for 11 years. And I moved back to Ocala in January.
Cool. So her mother, who I love, and I got to see, we had this reunion not long ago.
Yeah, not too long ago.
And Kay came in, and they rode together as a mother and daughter when they were at the hunt club. So her mother did the hunters.
She's very competitive. They retired her number in basketball at UK. She is not. She is not a joke. She's
University of Kentucky.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Yes. Yeah. My dad played professional soccer. She was a nut at basketball. So the competitive gene I came by honestly.
Wow. So they went all over the place and did the hunters, and we went to Buffalo, but my point was, your mother wasn't always an artist, was she?
No. She was a nurse.
She started saying, well, I paint now. I'm at Payne's Prairie, and I'm doing this painting. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I was expecting, paint by number or something.
Yeah. Oh,
she pulls up her phone, and these paintings
it's unbelievable.
are amazing. And I was like, and I was talking to some other people who are going, well, it's funny what you develop that you don't even know you had in the past.
Yeah, that's also part of what we learn through horses is just, if you're lucky, you get out what you put in. And they're such, for the same reason that horses are used in therapy and sort of as mirrors of us. I think we learn really early on with them that what's actually possible. And it's tremendous. And then it carries on to, for her to other avenues.
Other things. And she just moved to
Gainesville. Yeah, she's
so
right,
y'all
right
are close
here.
again.
Exactly.
Right? And then I know future plans might be a farm or something here?
Yeah, we'll see. I have a few Grand Prix horses that, we were just in Raleigh the last couple of weeks and sort of rebuilding and working with Jamie Stryker. He has a really nice Grand Prix horse that I ride in, a bunch of wonderful young horses, sale horses, jumpers, hunters, that sort of thing. So I'm having a really good time with that. And Elan Farms has sent me a couple of jumpers of theirs that I adore that are jumping in the Grand Prix also. So I feel very, very fortunate.
That's awesome. So it's like getting the whole thing cruising and put together down here in Ocala to get that business going.
Yeah, and it's so fun. I never have really had my own home before. So I bought a house in Ocala, in Williston actually, right near Ocala in 2006. And I never lived in it. And so it's because all of the places I lived were relative to the jobs that I had.
And you don't mind if I say your house is haunted?
Oh, no, it is definitely haunted.
Oh, man.
It was an old church.
I want to hear all about that. But we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to hear about the haunted house. Awesome. So let's take a quick break. We'll be back in a minute.
Grant Showalter has over 15 years of equine bodywork and saddle fitting experience. His technique uses manual pressure and stretching to release points of restriction, leading to freer movement, reduced soreness, and restored range of motion. He has a thorough understanding of the importance of a properly fitted saddle. You can quickly identify and correct any balance issues and can adjust your saddle on site. I personally have Grant work on all of my event horses to keep them feeling their best before, during, and after their competitions. Grant is based in Florida year-round, but regularly travels to Georgia, Tennessee, and the surrounding areas. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call 484-639-4454.
Hi, I'm Liz Halliday-Sharp. I'm an international event rider based in Ocala, Florida and Lexington, Kentucky. We love our Jump for Joy jumps. We're able to take the fillers and portables with us back and forth between our two locations, which is really helpful. And we especially love the cross-country portable fences. We have lots of different ones so that we can bring them between Lexington and Ocala, and we've always got something exciting for the horses to learn and jump over. We love our fences, and we would recommend Jump for Joy to anybody.
When it comes time to compete, I demand the best out of my horses and myself. That's why Elemental Fit Lab, the home of CrossFit antics, is my home gym. Coach Vilma and her team create a fun, welcoming environment for athletes of all levels. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned athlete, Elemental Fit Lab will guide you towards a stronger, healthier version of you. Mention the John and Rick Show to get 3 free personal training sessions with enrollment.
Sweet Dixie South is an equestrian facility built for the lifestyle of eventers of all levels. Whether you are coming to Ocala for the entire season, a week, a month, or a year, this beautiful 160-acre farm is the place to settle in and enjoy your time with horses. They offer a full cross-country course with 2 water features, banks, ditches, and amazing footing to gallop, a spectacular all-weather footing ring, large grass jumping fields, and dressage rings. Located in the rolling hills of North Marion County in Reddick, Florida, Sweet Dixie South has 100 stalls and numerous paddocks, apartments, a line of camper hookups, washer and dryer amenities, as well as common areas to complete your experience during your stay. Under the ownership of Mike Campbell and the management of Can-Do Joe Adams of Top Rail Tack, Sweet Dixie South has transformed into a premier eventing training facility in Florida. Go to www.sweetdixiesouth.com for more information.
Welcome back to the John and Rick Show, brought to you by Horse Trailer Pros. We're still here with Callan Solem, and we left here with something that really got me interested in your stories from the house that you bought in Williston, sorry. That's haunted.
It turns out it was built in the late 1800s, and it was a Methodist church. And
so you're living in a Methodist church.
And that's a house now, but yeah.
Are you a Methodist?
I am, actually.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So I walk in, I say, "Hi, Methodist." You know. But it definitely was very clear early on that it was haunted. There's a guest room that can hear organ music playing, and it's like on 2 very quiet dirt roads, so it's nothing else.
It's not coming from the neighbors.
No, it's nothing to do. And they open the door, and then it's quiet. You close it, and you can hear again that sort of thing. And there were a lot of different. They laid out my coats one day, just like right next to each other, all in the kitchen, which was interesting. But the one night I had come up from Wellington for the $1 million Grand Prix in Ocala. And it was the night before. And again, at the time, I was staying in that house like 2 nights a year, but paying the mortgage, paying somebody to mow the lawn, paying, all the things. And it was the night before that class, and it was like a house party of Methodists. And it was so noisy, and it was like, you couldn't. And I was talking to my mom on the phone, and I was like, I can't even get to sleep. This is ridiculous. I just, every time it gets freezing cold, and then you hear all this noise, and then it just all the things. And she said, "Well, Pumpkin, did you ask them to stop?" No.
It's great advice.
I actually didn't ask them to stop. So I hung up the phone, and I was like, "Excuse me, Methodist." I was like, "Could you please? I have a very big class tomorrow. Could you just please cool it? I really got to get some rest, whatever." And it really did.
So they're nice, friendly ghosts.
Yeah. No, I think I pay for this house like 12 months of the year for you guys to live in. I just need to be here like 2 nights.
Right.
Like, cool it.
But are they still cool now that you're there?
Yeah.
More?
No, I think it's fine.
You've worked it out.
Yes. It's all good.
It's pretty cool. I never believed in that stuff until I was actually over in England looking for horses, and I was staying at a hotel in Cirencester, looking with Mike and Emma Winter.
Right.
There are a lot of ghosts in England, I feel like.
Yeah, because it's old, right? Like if you've got old stuff, there's going to be ghosts. So I'm sleeping in the room, and I was told like this hotel that various rooms were haunted. Not all of them, but various rooms were. And I stayed in one room there twice, and both times absolutely was haunted. But I'm not as brave as you, so I left all the lights on in the room and slept. But at like 3 a.m., I can hear them. They're walking around the room. They're walking. Like, they're not talking, but they're walking. You can hear tuk, 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 and I'm finally, I did the same thing. Like, guys, seriously, I got jet lag. I'm struggling trying to sleep as it is. Can you just be quiet? And it worked.
Yeah.
So.
You know there's a new sitcom out called Ghosts. And
I heard that.
I've just caught like a little bit of it, but the wife can see all these ghosts and the husband cannot. So they're all like bombarding her all the time, and you got to watch it.
Yeah, I'll definitely
really
check
appreciate
it out.
Yeah. Maybe we could do like a Ghost Hunters episode from your house.
At your house,
right?
Do they come and see you every day or?
No, I definitely don't. Well, and also I think like yeah, there's so much we don't understand. I mean, it's just energy, right?
Right.
Like there's so much we
Energy
don't.
pops
But
up.
and I think like if if I'm really busy doing a bunch of stuff, you just aren't as susceptible to noticing that
Right.
kind of stuff. But no, I
So
think we're
any
doing well.
other funny stories you have to tell?
About ghosts?
About
or
ghosts.
just in
Yeah, no, I want the
general?
ghosts.
General?
I
Any
have a-
travels? I don't know. You told me that one story. I don't know if you can tell that story. But that-
You got to tell me if I can tell that story.
You can tell that story.
I can tell that
You
story?
can tell
Oh,
that
I can't
story.
wait for this.
Yeah, because
Oh my
he'll
gosh.
love this story. If you can wrap it up into a fine bow, but it's probably the funniest story I've heard.
Oh, here we
And
go.
she
He's sold
was-
it big.
As
Better
you know,
deliver.
But I mean, it's better than even you think.
Okay.
So, I'm going to try to make this quick. So, before the World Cup Finals 2016, my horse had a Splint. It was remodeling, active. It was difficult. We did everything. Great vet, great. Everybody did everything that they could. It looks amazing before we leave for Gothenburg. Flies from Miami to Liège, and then Liège to on a ferry to the rest of the way to Gothenburg. Well, when we get to Germany, where he's laying over after flying into Liège, it's like I get there and it's like, wow, it is. Whew, all the vibration from the trucks and the plane travel. It was wow.
Just shifted
It
that.
was huge. It did not look good, but he's totally sound. He feels great to ride. All that, but it was my first championship, and with the thermography where they scan the legs for heat, I was worried about that, and just trying to make sure everything would go as smoothly as possible for the owners, for the horse, for the team, for the country, all the things. And so we get to Gothenburg, and the team vet gets there, and he knew the horse from years past in the Nations Cups and stuff. And I say, "Look what we have here." And he's like, "Oh my God!" And I said, "No, but he's totally sound. He looks great. Everything's fine." So he watches me ride him. He goes, "Yeah, no, he looks perfect, whatever." And so then we fast forward, and we're trying to get ready for the jog in the morning, want to leave no stones unturned. And I say, "Look, what can we do? What else can we do? I'm doing, we're icing, we're doing, all the things. What else can I do?" And he said, "Well, I had some luck one time with a hunter, that if you found a massager with like a soft head, it exhausts the nerves around the splint and makes it less painful." And and he said, obviously it's not a weight-bearing bone. He wasn't in any danger.
Right.
It was just to make it more comfortable and whatever. So I said, absolutely, I will find one. So I go with my backpack on foot into the city of Gothenburg. I go to every drugstore, every department store, every massage parlor. I go everywhere. And the language barriers, so I'm having a little trouble, but there's nothing. I mean, you can get these things at CVS here, like around the corner. I mean, how can I be having this much trouble? So I'm a couple hours in, it's freezing cold, and I have an idea. So I go
You can say sex shop.
I go on my phone to Siri, closest sex shop. She is, "Callan, check it out." So it's like 2 miles away. So I walk there. So I get there, and there's it says you've reached your destination, but there's no storefront. I'm walking all around.
In my non-experience, that's usually the way these places are.
Right, because in America we go online for that stuff.
Right.
So there's just one brown door where it keeps saying you've reached your destination, but it looks like somebody's house. I mean, it's there's no signs or anything, but I just well, I guess I come all this way, right? I guess I got to check it out. So
Doing it for America.
right. So I kind of open the door and whew, that's my place. So I'm bright red. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so nervous. I walk in. I go, "Hello, I'm from America, and I have a horse that's having a little bit of trouble with his leg, and he needs a massager. And I just was thinking maybe there would be something here that
I
could
bet that is the
help for
first
that."
time they've heard that story as to why somebody wanted to buy a toy from them.
They didn't understand.
So she goes, "Yeah, okay." So she goes into the back, and then I wait a few minutes, and then she comes out, and just the horse part, I was like, "Oh, no.
She brought the horse thing.
No, it was
she got
very
right.
big. No. I'm looking for a Fisher Price version, a starter. No. So I start looking around, and I see, so I'm like, okay, of all the things that I thought I would be doing that day, that was not one of them. So I see this little guy, say, "Oh, yeah, how about that?" So I you know,
love it. I see this little guy.
Just test it out. I said, I think that's gonna be fine. Like, yeah, it seems soft enough. Yeah, it's not gonna. Okay, so I buy that, and I put the kroners on the table. I don't need a receipt, you know. I'm just
gonna expense this to the team.
Yeah, no,
and it worked.
Yeah, no, it did. It was yeah, no, it was great, and it was.
Isn't that a great story?
That's a great story, and that's good advice for everybody out there who's having trouble with
a splint. Yeah, but you know what's interesting, really, like from an actual. Real like
perspective.
Yeah, like not a silly story, but the thing that was so interesting that every day that it scanned, so every round, I mean, those were the biggest rounds that you jump in a championship, but every day with the thermography it scanned cooler. So it really wasn't, so the jumping wasn't really, the vibration from the travel was really aggravated it more than even the jumping itself, which was really interesting.
That is interesting, and I think it also, I've been told it depends on almost like what the flooring of the transport is made. If it's aluminum, that actually can be harder on them than a wood floor. And,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's all about
but
the vibration.
John, now we know you just carry yours with you, so we can just...
Right, if anybody has any splint issues,
call John.
We can take care of it. Yeah, who knew? That's a great story. Well, thanks for sharing that. And Callan, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Again, I know it's Thanksgiving, so we appreciate you taking the time.
Of course.
Go spend some time with your family, drink lots of turkey.
She's going to be in her pajamas with her mother.
Eat lots of turkey.
Yeah, you got it.
And again, thank you. And thank you to all of you for joining us for today's show. We really appreciate it.
Happy
Hopefully
Thanksgiving.
everybody is spending lots of time with your family watching great football. I'm sorry to any of you who had to watch the Lions game today. It's terrible. Terrible that they're even allowed to play on Thanksgiving the way things are, but it's the way it goes. So we appreciate it. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us, and we'll be back in a couple weeks' time.
Rick Wallace.
And I have John Holly here with me.
3 phases, dressage, cross country, show jump. And you're out on course and something's going wrong or going right, you know how to react to what they're doing.
It was built originally to be a schooling facility, and so everything's set up very conveniently.